week's project is a paper plate flower that we are going to weave. In your project, you'll find your flower, 2 balls of yarn, and you'll need to provide your own scissors for this one. We are going to start by making lines diagonally across the plate. So I'm going to find where it's exactly across. You could double check this by counting the petals on either side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on this side. So I know I found the middle. I'm going to take my yarn and tie it in the back. Just like that. And once that's on there, I'm going to continue to go diagonally across the plate. So I'll go from the one next to it, across, back and forth, just like this. Make sure you're not doing it tight. You don't want your plate, if you do it tight, your plate will close and warp and start to look funny. If you start going tight, you want your plate to lay flat, so it doesn't need to be super tight on there. Perfect. So I know that I'm done when between every petal has a piece of string. So I have that now. I'm ready to secure it. I'm going to take that little end from where we tied it on before and tie it around once again. So I'm going to trim it, give myself some space to work with, and I'm going to tie it in the back. There we go. Beautiful. I think that's starting to look great. Now it's time to start weaving. I'm going to start with my pink yarn. And I like to tie this, I'll find the center of the plate. I'm going to tie it around through the middle so that I could do my best to center all of the yarn pieces together in the middle of the plate. You might kind of have to tug this back and forth. And it's okay if it's not perfect. How does that look? Let me look at it straight. Maybe a little bit down here. A little that way. I think that looks great. And now that I'm done, I'm going to pull it nice and tight, do a double knot. Alrighty, now we are ready to start looming, or we're ready after I trim this tail. So we are going to loom this by going over and under, over and under, over and under. And I found the easiest way to do this because it's kind of hard to get the whole yarn ball underneath these strings. So I'm going to take a longer piece of yarn, make myself a mini yarn ball. So that's about good. Trim it. Then I'm going to take 2 fingers and just wrap all of this yarn around my 2 fingers to make myself a little tiny yarn ball. There we go. That's a lot easier to work with than the big yarn ball. And we can come back and get more if we need to. So we are going to take turns going over and under every one of these strings. So I'm going to start with this one. It doesn't matter where you start. And I'm going to go under first. Bring all of that yarn under. So I went under that one, which means I'm going to go over this one and under this one. So over, under. Pull it all the way through. Over, under. So I went under this one. Oh, we're going to go over this one, which means under that one. And pull it through. Over and under. So now that I've gone over and under a few times, I'm going to switch it up. And I'm now going to go over the string that I once was going under. So you can see this one is on top. So I'm going to go over it this time and see what starts to happen. So we're switching it up, changing the pattern to create something wonderful and new. If you want to get really fancy, I'm going to do this a few more times. We can wrap around the string and go around. I'll show you on the next one. So I'm going to go under, and then I'm going to go under again on the same string. So I've already gone under. Now I'm going to go over and under. So I've wrapped it completely around it. You can see here. Let's do that again on the next one. Under and over and under. We're going to do that for a little bit and see what happens. Now that I've wrapped it around for a little bit, I can once again change the pattern. Instead of wrapping and going under and over, what happens if I go over first and then under, and over and under, wrapping it around on the underside. Starts to look pretty neat. And I can always change the color as well. So if I just tie off, trim it, tie it around one of our straight lines there. Do a double knot. Trim the excess. And now we can take some of our teal yarn, and I'm going to tie it around a different one of these so that hopefully we can hide where the knot is. Oops. There we go, and I'll slide it down. And now I can start going over and under again with a different color and switch it up. And here is my finished result. I switched back to pink and I did the over pattern for a while. I did switch it back and forth with the blue, the teal there, and I think it looks fantastic. If you'd like, you can take a little loop of yarn and attach it to one of the strings that go between the petals. Make a little loop knot here so that you could hang it somewhere to display. And that is our paper plate flower weaving craft. Thank you so much for doing this craft with us. I hope you had a great time. We would love to see your finished results. If you can share a picture with us on Facebook, we would be so excited to see it. Thanks again for doing this craft with me. I hope you had fun, and remember we have new crafts every week in March and they're all yarn themed. Enjoy!